Hello ladies and gentlemen, SeKo Starcraft is finally bringing you back one of his replays. Haven't really had much opportunity to do much stuff on ladder tonight. So, what I'm going to be able to do is try to pick out a couple of good games that I played just recently. Things that are actually exciting, have a little bit of difference to them, things I can talk about a strategy about. I'm going up against Kopen in the top right as the blue protoss. I am playing myself up some Terran, which is perfectly fine because I'm finding Terran to be just creative and fun in the last little while. Even if I lose, I generally lose having some fun and creativity and fun and creative fun. You see I'm throwing down a supply depot. I'm going to still get all my barracks, but I'm going to go for a very early scout immediately out here against this protoss player because I have sinister intentions. Down goes gas. I'm going to try something that I saw. I'm going to say a preface that nobody should really do something that they see a pro player do, but I saw something very interesting. I believe it was in a game with MMA. I come in, I see the gas, the gateway, make it look like an ordinary scout, because I just want to see if there's anything too wonky. Then I'm going to venture over to one side, and I'm going to throw myself down. I'm going to throw down factory. There we go. He does go for a gas block, but for this strategy, I actually don't need that gas at all for a long time. So I got a couple Marines out. They're just going to shoot away at that. Back in his base. Very standard opening, very safe opening. Cyber with a gas so he can start getting out his warp gate research as soon as possible. Back on my side, there isn't really too much going on because what I'm going to be doing is getting out widowmines. And he's going to be going for a fast expansion, happily for me. That means he's not going for tech or more gateways. This is actually going to work out super well for me. I didn't see that before I threw down my factory, so I am a little bit lucky. I'm going to throw down a bunker at the front, because sometimes if you really piss people off, what they will do is just come back at you. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this SUV to draw away his attacking units to the back of his base. This is going to give me the opportunity I need. I'm a little bit off on my timing on this, but it's going to be the opportunity I need to get the widowmines into place. He's going to start attacking the first one, which is good. It's going to soak up some hits for me while the Stalker's attacking that one. Almost got caught up on top of that. Throwing down some gateways, lots of gateways. Is it going to get down in time? Yes. 4 kills on that, but more importantly, that part of the... Well, you can mine for a while. This guy's choosing not to. And this middle path's essentially shut down. So if we look at the income, this guy is now only mining gas. Not ideal, but now he's going to have to wait till the robotics facility gets out. He warps into Stalker next to this thing, which is actually probably a smart move if he wants to get back to mining right now. Now he should be able to return stuff to mining for the time being. I'm not going to move this. It's going to take a long time. If it was closer to being able to shoot, I probably would move it. Not worried. Factory's coming home. Barracks going down. Getting my other gas up. Getting a command center. Starting to produce more Marines. So, rolling along quite swimmingly. Out comes the Observer. He gets here just in time to be able to stop this from shooting. Very fortunate for him. So now he's back finally to making stuff. So that turned out extremely, extremely well. And now he's kind of messed up on his gas intake, so everybody went back to minerals. He does have some gas in the bank, though. Kills the Zealot. So that actually was a very effective little widowmine rush. I needed the factory anyways, because I want to get out my starport. And I'm going to transition into that. Got myself an armory already, in order to get out some hellbat drops. So I'm going to pause for a second and talk kind of the plan of this build. Plan of this build... 2 proxy mines, 1 for each mineral field. If this expansion wasn't here, I had too many units, I would just block them in with those until I was ready. Behind it, get out all my macro facilities, expansion, lots of barracks, and my tech buildings to be able to support the next phase of the game. Orbital command's going to go down. Starting to make marauders, marines, and I'm starting my stim really early because stim takes so long to do. I'm not planning on taking this to the super late game, so we'll do that. I should have assumed that because he got out a robo that he would have observers out. I'm not that good to snipe observers, but, you know, putting up a missile turret a place or two sometimes will help with that. I'm going to throw down a bunker on the low ground just to be able to deal with expanding here in the near future. Making sure I don't get supply blocked, so I'm going to run down a couple other pieces. This is a new kind of style for me with the mega amounts of early macro structures. I can afford to produce off a lot of these things, but what I have trouble doing is keeping my supply cap into check. Units wise, he does still have a lead on workers because I cut a lot of macro in order to try to get out that tech early on. I scan to see if there's anything crazy. I see that the robo is there, gateways, don't see any starports or anything else super funky. He doesn't have much of an army. Right now. Just trying to get out a couple. Now I'm going to run in for a little bit of hellbat harassment, and he should see this go by, actually, with that nicely positioned thingamajigger. He's going to be going into really fast Colossus right now. Supply-wise, he got a little supply capped. This is unfortunate, but what can you do? Producing more SCVs. He's producing 4 pylons because he's really supply capped. And this drop will take care of itself just fine. Throwing down my first engineering bay, because I actually wanted to throw down a turret right here to protect against any DT attacks, but I realized I don't have an engineering base. So that's a bit of a setback. Starting to produce Marines, more tech labs, so that way I can getting out more and more units. Pardon the interruption. I had a very important phone call from the missus. Where were we at? Oh yes, dropping. And getting very, very fortunate there with a bad drop of his... That's a good warp in for those stalkers. I was hoping to drop right there, but I didn't manage to do it well enough. I should have dropped higher on the ramp. I probably would have done better. Almost actually killed off a stalker with that. That would have been pretty cool. Still pumping out an army behind this. Marauders, hellbats, 4 marines at a time. I saw how much army he had there. I know that I killed off a bunch of probes, so he's back to making probes again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty out everything that I've got. I'm going to go for a little push. I have stim. I don't have 1-1 or anything like that, but I'm pretty certain my opponent doesn't either. I'm producing stuff so fast that I've actually been really worried about getting supply blocked a lot. More medevacs, marauders, marines. Down goes my missile turret. My turrets, missile turret. Which may or may not grab that guy. Medevac was rallying to the wrong spot. Nope, he does catch it in time, I think. I don't know if that's far enough away. It's not far enough to be out of vision. Oh man, one more shot. That'd been great. So, got a pretty good sized army versus his. Hellbats out in front to be able to deal with any... Only got a couple of hellbats in here, unfortunately. Not very good surface area for most of his. That Colossus did a lot of damage, but I do manage to focus it down really fast. My units are beat all to hell. But I will go and get some guaranteed damage. Yeah, that worked out really well. I know he's going to try. He tries to warp in some units directly down here. My units are so beat up that they are actually doing lots of damage. But it is 600 resources he just spent on the zealots here. Queuing up lots and lots of probes because he's got a ton of money. He actually can't spend it. Another big size army. I'm going to start pushing out already because I know that I'm in a great spot. I was hoping I'd get down that Nexus in time, so I stopped focusing down any other units. Nexus does not go down. But at this point, units wise, 41 workers. It seemed like I had more than that at the time because the amount these guys were bouncing around. But still producing lots and lots of units. Trying to keep my money pretty low. 2 Hellbats, 2 Medevacs, 2 Marauders, and 2 Marines at a time. Getting my +1 missile, sorry, +1 vehicle, and +1 armor. He says Terran is OP. I'm inclined to say that there is some things about it that are very OP just because of... I scan to see what's going on. Do see the Immortal there. I do think that there's some things about Terran in the early game that are obviously really good against protoss. That's why it's very important for Protoss to be as cost effective as possible. And he GG's out and leaves the game. Very interesting things that I enjoyed about that. The really fast Widowmine drop worked out unbelievably effectively. The hellbat drop worked out okay. Probably could have went for another hellbat drop at the same time and would have killed even more. So I learned some really fun little transition tricks into making what I would consider to be a pretty strong army. Did lots and lots of damage. It's pretty good. That's a pretty good worker count for 2 bases. I do have a 3rd command center in construction right now, so I could transition out of that. I think a big problem I had is I was always panicking to try to get more bases, whereas you can do really good on Terran with just 2 or 3 if you got the right composition. Fun little fast game. Hope you guys like that. I should have some more of my games hopefully here pretty soon.